In our most recent video, we talked about how the Epstein cover-up is being used as a loyalty test by Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. You can watch the whole video if you want to see the full explanation, but basically, cults use loyalty tests to make the base membership of the cult more fanatical by forcing them to accept cognitively dissonant ideas. And this also serves to purge members who don't pass the loyalty test. Now, we've gotten a few comments from viewers pushing back on this idea, saying that this couldn't have been like a loyalty building thing because a lot of MAGA supporters are not just going along with it. Now, you have to understand the inner workings of a cult and the mindset of a cult leader to understand why these loyalty tests and purges are not just about building numbers. In fact, a loyalty test and purge operation is about weeding out disloyal members. Cult leaders demand absolute loyalty from their followers. Cults attract a lot of people who are toxic, power-hungry kinds of people, especially mass political cults. Mass cults are configurations of smaller cults and proxy cults. And a talented mass cult leader like Donald Trump or Adolf Hitler, these mass cult leaders are very good at setting different factions and proxy cult leaders against each other so that they're all vying for approval and power from the cult leader. The Nazis even had a term for this. They called it the Führer principle. And the idea is that power flows down from the leader down through the hierarchy and responsibility goes back up. And so cult leaders like Hitler, Trump will set factions against each other and they will give them overlapping areas of responsibility. So it kind of encourages them to compete and fight amongst each other for the approval of the charismatic cult leader. Now, in a mass cult, you have so many different faction leaders and proxy cult leaders below the main cult leader that it creates this atmosphere of paranoia. There's always a possibility that somebody's going to try to coup and use their smaller subcult to go in and take power from the cult leader. So they really need to make sure that everybody's loyal to them. Donald Trump is deeply concerned with loyalty. Loyalty was a huge criterion when picking cabinet members and other administrative leaders in Trump's regime. And at this point, he has consolidated his power enough within not just the MAGA cult, but within the Republican Party. He's not as concerned about just gaining more followers. Trump now is very concerned with the quality of his followers. And so he wants to know who's absolutely devoted to him and who's not. And he wants to purge people he might suspect of being disloyal. You see him admonishing cult followers for not going along with that party line that Epstein was a lone trafficker, as they're saying. Trump is expecting people to just fall behind him on this. When he said,
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
that was him signaling to his base that we are not going to talk about this anymore. And anybody who keeps trying to pull at that thread is going to be seen as disloyal and they're going to get purged. I'm going to make a full video going into this in a lot more detail in the near future. So if you want to learn more about this stuff, be sure to subscribe.